And this year we had 3 girls in the program, and 2 of them qualified and 1 of them was an alternate.
To be in that field, to have qualified into that field is just huge. So I'm very nervous, obviously, because I've been looking forward for tomorrow all year.
I mean, my coach is going to be on the back. Doesn't really get much better than that.
You never stop learning. Like, come on now. Like, every day's a learning day. The thing is with golf, you're never going to figure out match play because it's not like you can't control what this girl's doing.
I know that there's this butterfly effect, and I know in 3, 4, 5, 10 years, we're going to sit in front of a group of new athletes, and we're going to talk about what happened in the 2025 U.S. girls as a pivotal moment in our careers. I mean, the United States Golf Association hosts the best events in the world, right? You talk about the U.S. Amateur, you talk about the Women's Amateur, you talk about the U.S. Women's Open, the U.S. Open, and then you have this category for the younger generation, which is still run by the greatest organization in golf, and it gives you this opportunity to earn your right into other events. It gives you an opportunity to be in the same stratosphere as some of the greatest golfers of all time. A lot of what this event is about is history. I think when you ask me, like, what does it mean to have 2 girls compete in the U.S. girls, a lot of times that's the goal, is to get there. And once you get there for the first time, then you have a different goal the second, third, fourth time. But for someone like Abby to achieve this opportunity to compete in that event, that was a win. And then what happens is sometimes it's overwhelming. The USGA put on an incredible experience. It's like playing in the US Open, right? Your name comes out on the tee, you have signage on every hole, you have a walking scorer, you have rules officials. It's just grander than anything that probably Abby had ever seen. And if we look at the week, the first practice round on Saturday was possibly the best she played all week. And then as she started to play more and as she started to be around it more during the week, that pressure or that oxygen got less as the pressure got more. And the really cool thing for me is round 1 wasn't great. She struggled. She got caught up in the moment. She lost a little bit of her confidence. She lost a little bit of that fight in her that allowed her to get to the event and to earn that opportunity. No one gave it to her. She went and earned the opportunity to be there. And I think on Monday she forgot that. And then Tuesday, she came out with this desire to prove that she belonged. And the front 9 and back 9 were very different at Atlanta Athletic Club. That back 9 was disproportionately harder than the front 9. And so she struggled on Monday on the back 9. And then we had to play the back 9 again as our first 9 holes on Tuesday. And it was overwhelming. And we had a conversation actually on our 9th hole, the 18th hole, which was, if you're willing to be the athlete that got here and you're willing to carry yourself and act like that, I'm willing to continue. But I'm unwilling to continue to be a part of the team if you're going to get in your own way. Sometimes those conversations are really hard. Sometimes as words are coming out of my mouth and the athlete's reacting, you feel like you should pull back. But instead I pushed harder, and I couldn't be prouder of the last 9 holes that Abby played at the US Girls. She showed everyone, but most importantly, she showed herself that she belonged there. And it's impossible not to go back and say, what if? However, if she had played with that confidence and that swagger and that self-belief, who knows what could have happened.
It was just incredible to not only walk such a prestigious place, but just to be inside the ropes and just taking it in and noticing like how well Alejandra could do around here. It was playing long, she has length. It was playing hard in areas, as in firmness in areas, advantage to a girl who hits it hard, high, spins. So the advantage for Alejandra and myself was just to be like, how do we control her emotions and her golf ball at the same time to be able to get into match play.
Yeah, I think when you look at Alejandra and what makes her such a phenomenal player, but probably even a more phenomenal human being, is her consistency. It's her determination. When we set goals, you know that she's going to leave nothing to chance. She's going to give it everything that she has, and she's going to check that goal off. So last year when she said, hey, I want redemption at the US Girls, I played those first 9 holes thinking I didn't belong, and then I woke up. There was no doubt that this entire year was going to lead to what we saw this year. 15, 20 of the best college coaches in the country walking and watching her play. And you look at when she started on Monday, that first 9 holes was phenomenal.
So I was not upset. I was a little bit like mixed feelings about my round, because I knew I could do things better, and I knew I had a lot of like mistakes up there, but at the same time I had really good shots and I was able to like contain myself, and maybe I wasn't hitting the ball as good as I wanted to hit it, but I made those mistakes or those errors smaller and didn't let it affect my score as much. So I was really happy with that, and Holly's course management just helped me a lot to just keep myself up there, like maybe not shot 5 under par like the leader was, but I was in play. I was in the cut, and obviously my goal was to play match play. So first round was done, and I was happy with it. Yeah, stuff could have been better, but it was all right. And tomorrow I knew I had a new day and another opportunity to play. So I wanted her to completely switch off and enjoy having her parents with her in that time. So it wasn't until the next morning that I saw her, and she did wake up very early, and I basically sent her straight back to bed. I was like, go to bed. Like, I don't care if you're wide awake, I don't care if you're nervous, I don't care anything, you need to go back to bed for at least 1 hour, then talk to me. Because I think in that aspect, we didn't want to drain her so quickly. She had a long day ahead of her. We knew that there were potentially going to be weather delays. So in that aspect, sent her back to bed. I actually went to the gym myself, had a bit of time to prep myself. Like, I think a lot of people forget that as caddies and coaches, like, we need time to think about what we're going to do with the player. So it's as much as it's about them, it's also about us, because we need to be on our games as well. And if we're not on our games, then I've been in too many experiences where it can pull off onto the player, and it's just not the place where you want to be. So for me, going to the gym and then coming back to tap into like, now I'm ready to like engage with her, was the key element to us. And then I made her do some functional work, some mobility work, and I think that really tapped her into going, right, now I'm in the zone, and now I'm ready to go out and play some golf.
I mean, you have these players that come into your life, and you have these players that you pour your heart and soul into, and you give everything that you can to help them achieve their goals. You want the best for them, but you also know that it's through adversity that we grow. And on Monday, she played that first 9 holes looking like a rock star, looking like there was a chance she was gonna be holding a trophy on Saturday. And yeah, she struggled a little bit coming in. She made a couple sloppy mistakes, and in only Alejandra fashion, she didn't dwell on it. She acknowledged them, she owned them, and then she made sure that she had a formula to make sure that she was going to overcome that pattern on Tuesday. And that's what she did. You look at Tuesday, you know where you are, you know that this is a goal of I want to make match play, I want to get into that fight, and coming down the back nine on Tuesday, it's getting pretty intense. And there's moments where it looks like the round is either going to be this birdie fest or it's going to get away from her. And she hit some of the best shots that I've ever seen her hit when it mattered. To get up and down on her 17th hole from a position that's impossible, it's because she had this goal and it was so compelling that it didn't matter the difficulty of a shot. She was going to achieve it just by sheer grit and determination. And that's what she did. In that moment, for a young athlete to do what she did, that is probably why she has 9, 10 full opportunities at SEC schools, Power 4 schools, you name it. She not only impressed the coaches with her skill, she impressed the coaches that when there was that defining moment, she leaned into it and she loved it.
I was really nervous, but at the same time, I know my game is really intimidating in a way, so I could use that at my advantage. But at the same time, I have to be focused on my game and be focused on what I have to do, and not really focus on the girl that I was competing against. And yeah, I was nervous. Yeah, I had all those feelings, but I was confident. I had a good feeling about it, and just went out there and, like I said many times before, just have fun and enjoy it.
She was relaxed, but of course she was nervous. Was she excited? Absolutely. Were her mom and dad so proud that she was playing match play? Of course. But there was still a job to do, and Holly and Alejandra had a look in their eye like they were ready.
Your game plan completely changes from stroke play to match play. Now you've gone from playing the golf course to playing this girl, right? We don't know much about her. We just know that, can we win? We can beat anybody on a good day, so it doesn't really matter if she's intimidating or not. It's like, can our golf game do the job? And probably 5 holes in, I thought, this is great. I'm gonna be having something to eat after 13, 14 holes. I thought it was gonna be an early bath. I really did. And it's not that I thought I was thinking of the future, I wasn't. It was just that watching the golf that Alejandra was doing and how in control she was of her ball, there was no doubt that she was not gonna win. She was always gonna win, but then a few holes later, it just took a big turn and not for the best. And even though I kept prodding at her and giving her a talking to and asking her questions, she never let off that she was looking way too far in the future.
So I got distracted. My mind went to the future, and I was like, what if I win? And then I'm gonna play again. And if I play again and I win, I'm gonna play again and I have a chance to win the event. And my mind went so much to the future that I lost focus of what I was doing on the course in that moment. And I feel that that was my mistake, because I ended up doing 3 bogeys in those holes.
She plays 10 and 11, and then it's like, we need to make a change. We need to do something because it feels like it's getting away. And again, to reiterate, that's why Holly's one of the most valuable assets to this program. She's a coach, she's a caddy, she's a motivator, and she's a cultivator of an environment. Yes, they didn't win 12, but 12 was the momentum swinger because of the conversations and the way they went about their business allowed for the change of momentum on 13, right? She wins 13, the tee's all the way up on 14. I'm so excited, I can't wait. She is in this scenario where like 3-wood probably can't get there. You kind of need to hit a high cutty driver. She's down. Should she have hit driver? That's not for me or anyone to decide. She felt like she wanted to hit 3-wood. She hits it in the bunker, so does the other girl. They're so close that the rules official has to come over and like mark the ball. The other girl hits a bunker shot that looks like it's gonna go off the back of the green and just by some divine intervention stays. Alejandra hits probably one of the best bunker shots that I've seen ever. I mean, the 1-on-8 in stroke play was ridiculously good, but this one was phenomenal. And then it just didn't check. And so they have that hole. And yes, if she gets that bunker shot closer and she makes that putt, what it could have been, but still in that moment to hit those great golf shots is just phenomenal. And then she walks to 15 and she just absolutely smashes one. And again, as the coach walking, as the person talking to college coaches walking, yes, I'm in one mode. As a fan of Alejandra, when she hit that tee shot on 15, yeah, I let my mind travel a little bit. I said, all right, here we go. Let's go, kid, you got this. And yeah, she didn't necessarily capitalize on that moment, but the other girl had a very, very hard putt and executed. And I think that's, when we look at this match and we look at, did Alejandra win it? Did this girl lose it? There's all those things that you start to think about in match play. It wasn't exchanged with a lot of birdies because the golf course played very, very hard. But the amount of flawless golf that Alejandra's opponent played made it very hard to capitalize, especially when you got behind. But I'm very proud of Holly and Alejandra for not trying to press. They just continued to stick to their game plan and play to the right shot, to play to the right place on the green, to attack aggressive to smart targets. And as a result, it didn't allow them to make enough birdies coming in. But you go to 16, Alejandra hits another phenomenal drive. She's in the driver's seat, she's ready, she has it. She has, I think, wedge in her hand, and throughout the week I've seen many different clubs played on that hole besides wedge, and she just hit it long. She hit it in a position where to that flag was going to be very, very fast and very, very hard, and you feel like you have to make birdie at that point, so you get a little aggressive with the putt. It goes too far by and you don't make the comebacker, and it feels like all the wind comes out of your sails. And that was probably the moment that was the hardest for me to see, because in that moment it felt like the match was over, yet the match was anything but over. And I think that's the learning moment, is Alejandra probably paid more attention to the 1 up, 2 up, 1 down, 2 down, than just there's still golf to be played. And there's the 18th hole, which she's one of the only players in the field that could reach into. And if that match had gotten to 18, I have no doubt that Alejandra would have won it. She goes to 17 and she's still a little hung up on what happened on 16. The other girl hits perfect 7-wood or whatever the heck it was, and Alejandra tried to force a 5-iron up there and hit a really substandard shot. Still had a chip and probably could have chipped it in. And I'm talking to a college coach, and that college coach is saying to me, well, let's talk about that college coach, right? Like, Alejandra's struggling and she's playing great, but then she loses momentum and the crowd starts to change, right? Coaches have to go to other holes, coaches have to watch other players. And one of the coaches that was watching her, a very good friend, left after 10 and then walked all the way back out to the golf course to catch us on 15. Saw the 3-putt on 16 when Alejandra was in this tough situation of like, probably had to hold a pitch and the other girl was gonna have to 3-putt. The coach said to me, "It's golf, Zach. Anything can happen. Let's just have your girl step up and execute an amazing golf shot." And she hit a great pitch. She left herself an opportunity. The other girl hit a very stressful shot trying to win her first match in match play. And there was this moment where if Alejandra makes that 5-footer, that girl probably misses and we're going to 18. And I think that's a testament to what these college coaches see and what coaches like myself and Holly see is we don't see it for the exact moment. We see what can happen if you continue to believe in yourself and you continue to allow yourself to dream that you can still make it happen. And maybe for a brief moment, Alejandra turned that switch off. And maybe that's why her run in match play this year came up short. But just like last year where we sat here and she had a goal and she had redemption to be had, I think that's the story this year is like, look at what she did to get there again. Look at how much she's evolved to be the player that she is this year. And my goodness, what is it gonna look like for Alejandra in the 2026 US Girls? If I was a player in that field, I'd be worried because she had just enough pain from this event to be motivated just like she was last year. And we saw what that led to. So I cannot wait to see what happens in 2026.